Good evening. I'm Bill Draper. I'm the Secretary Treasurer for the Jackson County Veterans Hall located here in Gainesboro, and I'm also a member of American Legion Post 129, and that's where we are this evening. We're meeting at the usual meeting place of the American Legion Post 129 here in Gainesboro. And we are meeting this evening. This is a Thursday, the first day of October 2020, and we're here, kind of a special meeting here tonight because, as far as we know, Mr. Comer Allen is the last surviving veteran from Jackson County, Tennessee, and we're very honored to have him be here with us. I think he's 99 years old, but we're awful happy to have him here with us. We know, beyond any doubt, we members of this Veterans Hall and the American Legion Post know that it is Mr. Allen and others like him who have fought and preserved this American way of life, and we owe a debt of gratitude to them. And we want to preserve their memories by taking these interviews so that people in the future generations can draw inspiration by their memories. So if you're ready now, turn around and face Mr. Allen here and get to where I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I want you first of all to state your full name.
The serial name?
The full name, Mr. Allen, whatever your full name is.
Would that be the same that
Yeah.
written down?
Yeah.
Comer B. Allen.
Yes, sir. And could you tell us the date that you were born?
1920. That makes my year 1 year older than the 21.
So where were you born?
Old Free State.
Okay. And who was your mom and daddy?
Edward Allen and Martha Allen Flatt.
All right, sir. And did you have brothers and sisters?
They're deceased.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just
One before me and one after me. And I had 3 brothers.
did any of them go into the service too?
One of them's in the service, I think.
So let me say this: did you go to school here in Jackson County?
Well, I went, I think about 6th grade.
Yes.
And I left Tennessee April the 7th, 1941.
Well, so
in a CC camp.
oh, CCC camp. Doing what kind of work were you doing there?
Well, went in the commissary department,
I see.
which is the cooking.
Cooking part.
Went to school 4 hours a day, worked 4 hours.
Well, where did you go to do that?
It's a camp.
Yes, sir. Where was the camp located?
Spokane, Waterville, Washington.
Well, that's a pretty good ways off.
Yeah.
How'd you get up there?
Well, train.
Okay, took a train from Nashville.
Yeah.
Well, so,
From Cookville.
oh, from Cookville?
From here in Tennessee.
Had a train in Cookville.
Yeah.
So, how long did you stay in that CCC camp?
Well, I stayed almost a year.
Well,
And they declared war, you know.
oh, yeah, declared war in
Declared war, and
December,
yeah, 7th.
December the 7th.
And the question of it was, the Army was taking over the CC camp, which I already knew,
Yeah.
and I got out quicker than I could,
I see.
rather than go to the Army.
Yes.
And I ended up in a poison unit, and you see, I went to Olympia, Olympia, Washington,
Yeah.
the driving school,
Huh.
truck drive, big truck.
Yeah.
And I missed 3 questions on my learning,
Driver's test.
on the driver's test.
Yeah.
The truck. I went from there to mechanic school.
Yeah. There in Washington also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mechanic school. Stayed in that about 3 weeks.
Well,
Then I went to the shipyard.
oh, still staying in Washington. Went to the shipyard.
In Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. Yeah. Well,
You know, and I only stayed we went in that unit of insects, poison insects, you know, little planes,
yeah.
and see, that was in Madras, Oregon, in Bend, Oregon. And we went, I ended up going to the shipyard in Portland.
What kind of job did you have there in the shipyard?
A sanding iron,
I see. Yeah.
and
On the ships
yeah,
that they were making there.
his bolts, you know, where they
Yeah.
put the steel together.
Yeah.
And I come in that one afternoon and I had a draft card.
A draft card. Oh.
Naturally, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Well, I immediately, see, that was one evening,
Yeah.
I discovered the card, and the following day, I was the recruiting office.
Oh, so you went and recruited yourself?
Yeah, getting in the Navy.
Yeah.
3 days later, I was in San Diego,
Well, 3 days later you went down to San Diego.
and that was in training.
Yeah.
Well, I'd already made corporal in the CC camp.
Yeah.
And they found that out, you know. Naturally, they would have wanted me in the Army.
Yeah. Would they give you a promotion there, or was, they didn't? They might ought to have gone ahead and promoted you right there.
It went in training again. And went to school in Idaho.
After you got out of boot camp?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you going to school for?
Commissary.
Back into food service?
Food business,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, shortly after that, I was overseas.
Oh, did you get on a ship? It was assigned a ship to get over there, or what kind of ship was it?
It had about 100 Marines and it's a cargo.
Oh,
It was loaded. That's when the war was terrible.
Yeah.
And I worked 24 days.
what, feeding those Marines?
Straight time
Yeah.
on the ship. I was the only one responsible for all them.
Well,
I thought I had it made. I knew there was something kind of fishy there. They carried me from a training base to the ship, to the port, getting my orders, and I had them under my arm and my gun, and they put me on I was on the Jeep. They put me on the ship.
yeah, a transport, a troop transport ship, is that what it was? Troop transport, does that sound right?
Yeah.
Carrying Marines, I don't know how many, you said about 100, maybe. Maybe 100 or so Marines. Where were you taking them to? You remember where you was going with them?
Well, I don't, they went to the Guadalcanal.
Yeah. So your ship just took them over someplace, and then they got off your ship and got onto an amphibious ship or something like that? Is that
Yeah, that's the sort of.
How long did you work in that job there, taking care of, it's like feeding all them people?
Well, they dumped me off in New Caledonia. And they assigned me to the hospital.
Well, so you went to be food service in the hospital?
Yeah.
Oh, so you had to feed a bunch of other people there at
Yeah, yeah, it's a big hospital, a pretty good sized hospital.
Yeah.
It's a fleet hospital.
Navy hospital there, right? Well, so I'm sure you saw a lot of wounded Marines coming in there.
Well, he was served, all of them from the battle, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So how long did you stay there at New Caledonia for the rest of the time in the Navy?
A couple of years.
Couple of years there. Well.
I come back to the States and, and they sent me to, see, that was Port Hueneme.
I didn't get that. What was that now?
Port Hueneme.
Yeah.
They signed me to to the base there for, I stayed there about 6, 7 months. That, back in the city again.
So this puts you up to where I think you said you went in 41. That's
Yeah.
right after the war started.
CC camp,
Yeah.
right here. We mustered in right here. They was, they must have been about, I think about 17 or 18 of those boys, you know,
Right here, local boys?
signed up
Yeah.
to go in the West.
Yeah.
I really didn't sign it, but that's where they sent me. I don't know.
So, but that was when you went to the CCC camp?
No, I didn't get out of the Navy till before, let's see, 48, I think it was.
My goodness, 48. So you had about 7 years in?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, so you were still in when you stayed in after the war was over with for some time?
2 years.
Yeah. Did you just volunteer to do that, or they asked you to stay in for extra time, or how'd that happen?
Well, I was the one that wanted out.
Yeah. But you finally got out after.
I married.
Oh,
Let me out.
that'll change things, yeah.
That's another one of them. It's a funny decision to make. Either
Yeah,
you do or don't.
yeah. So you married some girl from here from Jackson County, or?
Yeah.
Okay. So you decided it's time to get out then?
Well, I got out. Yeah. Boy, this disease come, you know, like, it's a shame, but they ain't never got it.
What's that now? What disease you talking about?
I say it's a shame this disease come, you know.
Oh, you mean this present thing we're talking about?
Yeah.
This coronavirus, is that what you're talking about?
No, this, my first wife died.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay. And so, and did you have any children?
Yeah.
How many
We
children?
had 5 children.
Well, pretty good brood. And then she died. Did you get another wife then after she died, if she passed on?
Well, I married again and married a girl from Tennessee. And we didn't get along too good, so
Oh,
she asked me for a divorce, and I said, okay.
yeah.
I know the female, you know, you deal with a lot of them, you get to know them.
Well, so then after you got out of the Navy, this was put you said about 48,
Uh,
about
the
1948.
last part of 47.
Okay. Well, what do you come back to Jackson County then?
No, I went to Ohio.
Oh, got a job in Ohio?
Actually got out. Well, they talked me into learning to lay brick.
Yeah.
And that's, I went to carrying the hod. A lot of people can't do that. Carried 24 brick in a hod
Yeah.
and climb a ladder,
Got the ladder. Yeah. Well, maybe that got you in pretty good shape.
24 brick. I've carried that up Screek Apple High.
Yeah. 3 scaffold high. Yeah.
And I've also carried them brick up 3 floors high.
Yeah. Well, so you started doing that in Ohio? Is that what you did? In Ohio? You started-
I decided to come back to Tennessee in 1962. I come back, I moved back.
Yeah. And took up the same trade? Was you doing the same trade when you come back here?
The same, yeah, the same kind of work.
Yeah.
Building schools.
Yeah.
Building schools.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people know you here in this county.
Yeah.
I was down there at the drugstore the other day, and I said, we got Comer Allen coming up here in a few days. And they said, oh, we know Comer. Said he's built houses all around here.
Done a lot of work in this old county.
Yeah.
And I pay taxes too.
And still in this county, you're talking about. Yeah, you said something about you still got a place here.
Yeah, I've tried to get my son, my youngest son,
Yeah.
trying to get him to take over my property and house.
Yeah.
And after all, I'm getting pretty old.
Yeah, it'd be hard for you to get around there and do the lawn mowing now.
I got out of the hospital corps for the reason that for is working in the heat all the time. You don't live too long.
Yeah. Well, seems to me like you're in pretty good shape being 99.
I'm 100, over 100.
Okay, excuse me. Oh, sorry. But yeah, you're doing right well. Maybe that's what the rest of us ought to take up. Maybe we ought to start carrying brick.
I don't know, boys. It's pretty rough. Like I said, this speech
Yeah.
got me a year and a half now. I've been having trouble
With your breathing?
breathing. Not my breathing, my talking.
Oh, well, one of the things that I thought might be interesting is, could you tell us about something that stands out in your mind that happens when you was over in at that Naval Hospital, New Caledonia? Is there something? Anything stands out in your mind as far as, I don't know, like an invasion or anything, like news of the war going on or anything like that you remember hearing about?
Well, you know, in the hospitals, they're all studying the sick people.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the hospital, the Bay Part clinic, they call it.
Yeah.
I went to it, I drank too much, and the doctor, he said I needed 2 pills.
Yeah.
He gave you 2 sugar pills. He said, that's all I need. And I didn't go back no more.
Well, that cured you right there. Huh?
I always study about that when they,
Yeah.
but right now I'm taking a certain amount of medicine.
Yes, sir. So when you were, but your main job there when you was at New Caledonia was still serving in the food service.
I was in charge of it,
In the food service, right?
the shift.
Oh,
Had 2 shifts.
oh, see, yeah. And you were not a hospital corpsman. You was a major. You was looking after and kind of the boss over the cooking
Yeah.
for the
Well,
whole
we had to,
for the whole hospital. Was that what it was? For the whole hospital, in other
Yeah.
words, all the doctors and the nurses and everything,
Yeah,
and the patients.
it's just like the hospitals here
Yeah.
in the United States. That's another case. I was hoping they'd keep the hospital here. They,
Oh yes, yes.
as far as I'm concerned, my knowledge about leadership and advance and things like that, they should, each county should have a hospital.
That's right. It was a terrible thing to lose that hospital here.
Right.
You remember Dr. Dudney?
Yeah,
Dr. Dudney's still living. His wife died just a little while ago.
yeah.
I don't know if you heard about that.
That's a shame. She was awful good.
Yes, she was a nice lady. And you remember Dr. Jack?
Yeah, I was with him in the service.
Oh, yes. He was in the Navy, too. Yes. Did you ever serve together with him in the Navy?
Same ship.
Same ship. Well, and of course he died about a year ago, something like that. I remember. Yeah. If it was somebody, let me see if I can set this up for you. Let's say a young man or a young woman comes to you for advice. They say, Homer, could you give me some advice about whether I ought to join the service or not? What would you tell them? About whether they ought to join and what service they ought to join if they should join something.
Well, I don't think the service has got any tougher than it used to be, you know. Back the war going on, they rushed them to train fast.
Yeah. Well, you went to boot camp at San Diego, right?
There you go.
You remember what did you do mostly? What was your main training exercises at San Diego?
In other words, what I done,
Yeah, at San Diego.
that was get dressed for the grindstone, march it.
Yeah, the grinder, I think. Right?
Grinder.
Grinder, yes. So we get out there and march. Yes. Yeah. Do you remember who your company commander was?
To be surprised, but Churchill was in on that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's chief petty officer?
He was admiral or something other. Well, in other words, you see, they've got a system that people get. You earn what you get.
Yeah.
Every so often, they check you for to go a higher grade.
Promotion?
Yeah. I held first sergeant. It would be the first sergeant in the Army,
The equivalent to...
which is the chief
Yeah.
in the Navy.
So you got to be a chief petty officer?
No,
No.
I was first class,
Okay, yeah.
and I held it 3 years,
Yeah.
ready for another
Promotion. That's be...
but I got out on.
Oh, I see. So you were first class, and then before you got to be chief, you got out. Yeah. I remember, see, I went to NTC myself,
Or
Naval Training Center, San Diego.
you did.
Yeah. I went there in 1956, a little after you was there, I guess. Yeah.
I was kind of surprised though them getting me to the base down there so fast.
As quick as they did.
As a sheepyard. They told me I didn't have to go, but I knew if I didn't go, they'd always wonder why, you know.
You definitely didn't want to get in the Army.
I didn't think I should.
Well, what about, one thing that I'm still curious about is that CCC business. How come you got into that in the first place?
Well, this is between me and you. The CC, to me, I was an orphan
Well,
to be in it.
yeah.
My mother, she died in 1930.
Yeah.
Her teeth bled to death.
Well,
I was orphan boy right here in Tennessee. And I studied it, and I seen it was pretty good thing to do, which they was wanting people.
what age was you at that time, Coleman?
I might be off on that a little bit. About 18 or 20 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So then you got a chance to join the CCC?
Yeah, and then they followed me up to get me in the Army.
Yeah, the local people did. Sent you, the local Jackson County sent you a draft notice.
And they maybe still let me.
They'll probably come and get you tomorrow. They find out you come down here. So you managed to get way out there in the West and worked in the CCC. What was you doing in the CCC camp? I don't know.
Cooking.
Oh, that's where you started cooking? Commissary school, I think.
Yeah. I was going to school. I went to 2 different classes. I graduated.
Yeah.
One of them was the first aid school.
First aid.
That's what I can't understand even today.
Okay.
The first aid was medical, as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
But now they got it handout, you know,
Oh.
donation.
Oh, I see. Oh, a Red Cross type thing?
They called it the first aid. It was all about law and presidents.
Did anybody from Jackson County go with you when you
Yeah,
went?
yeah.
Okay.
There's you see, there's I know of about 3 still living. Oh, it's the Sam Hall. You probably remember Sam Hall, don't you?
I know that name. I don't know if I'm, yeah.
John Stafford.
Yeah.
A few of those boys. John's still living, I reckon.
But he didn't go in the Navy with you.
Yeah. He went with the CC camp,
Yeah.
but he got out before I did.
Yeah.
He got out 6 months. Went back to Michigan and joined the Navy.
Well, Homer, I've tried to keep you up. I think we come back to somewhere like in the 60s. You came back here to Jackson County from Ohio,
Yeah, he's here, yeah.
and then from that time on, as far as I can remember talking to you, from that time on, you continued to live here in Jackson County and made a living primarily as a big bricklayer. And so you mentioned you had 5 children by your first wife, and now you live in Cookville. You got a place to live up there now.
Yeah.
And
Rent.
you rent it up here.
And that's, I was hoping to get back down there, back on the ridge out there.
Harmony Ridge, you say?
Mhm.
Well, maybe you can manage. You're trying to get your youngest son to help set that up for you.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of anything that might be interesting. If you've got something else, in other words, what I'm saying is, I might have left something out that you think you need to tell these people that might be looking at this somewhere down the road. Is anything else like, I mean, was you ever shot at over there when you was?
No, I never was shot at.
You just saw lots of people that was shot at.
Well, in fact, I didn't get on the first line, though.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I remember signing up one time to go to the first line.
Yeah.
They turned me down.
They needed you where you was.
I guess they needed me where I was at.
Yeah. That's a good way of looking at it. I reckon that pretty much covers it then, what we need to cover. I want to say that all of us here, those of us here now and on in the future that might be looking at this, we want to thank you. Thank you for all you've done, and thank you for coming down here to tell us about it here tonight. I want to shake your hand, and thank you very much.
I guess I'd go back in the same organization
Okay, you go back in the Navy.
if if they wanted.
Well, that's kind of what I was asking you a little while ago. If you'd encourage somebody to go back in the Navy, I was a Navy myself. I was a Navy for about 8 years.
You know, I was thinking you was when I was working on that
Yeah.
Landing Block over there.
Yeah.
I was thinking you was in the Navy.
Well, I had been out. I had been out. For law school. I'd been out for about 4 or 5 years when I was going to law school. But I was in the Navy, and I still love the Navy. I mean, I wouldn't say good things about it.
For the Drapers, I lived on there. My dad was a farmer
Yeah, on a free state.
on Free State over there, yeah, for a long time, and then finally moved to what they call Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go back, I guess, in the same breed too.
Yeah.
You see the school in the CC camp, that I went to graduate. All the records, we had them in I was changing places often, and I wouldn't carry them with me.
Yeah.
I left them in Redmond, Oregon. I had the paper showing that I was graduated from each one of the schools.
Yes.
And some girl was going to bring them to Tennessee. And they stole them.
Wow.
Just in the last year, the thieves, I reckon they call me sometimes the thieves too, but I ain't. They hit me out here heavy. My Navy rifle, they stole it. I hadn't been able to get it back.
So you had a Navy rifle that issued to you? Carbine, is that what it was?
Carbine, yeah.
Well, I've still got my survival knife that they issued to me. They issue a survival knife. I got one of them. I still got it. But
I was saying keep it for a
yeah,
souvenir.
yeah, sure, yeah. So somebody broke in your house or something like
Yeah,
that?
they broke in.
My goodness. Well, I hate that happened.
But what I couldn't understand, though, Mr. Draper, is that they get a .22 rifle, shoot the 16 type, you know, automatic.
Yeah,
I had a rifle with that kind in the Army, and the Navy rifle in the rack hanging on the wall.
yes.
And I also had a shotgun and let's see, I had 6 guns hanging on in the rack.
Yeah,
And they got every one of all of them. They involved all they left me the shotgun. They took the rest of them.
well,
And the rest of the shotgun hanging there. What do you think of that?
well, I wish you could have used it on them.
Huh?
I wish you could have used it on them.
Yeah, ordinarily they took the shotgun too, though.
Yeah, that's hard to figure.
A regular thief, I think, who took the shotgun.
That's hard to figure.
Yeah, it's getting rough. I believe it's getting rougher.
You think it's gonna get rougher? Well, it may do it before it's over with. All right, I reckon that's it.